Hello and welcome once again to Age of Decadence, and we are going to start over, and here is why. The playthrough as the Lore Master in the recent patch, a beta patch, a mini beta patch which changes the engine of the game as well, has added a lot of, supposedly a lot of content to choosing that route of playing the game. And since I got to about halfway through the game, I do not wish to start over as the same character. That's why we are going to do a different approach. It's better to do it. That's why I didn't upload any other videos from that run. Better to start over from the first city, show you the different things you can do from that perspective, and just go through rather than leave an undisclosed, very open book. Needless to say, if you want to start playing Age of Decadence and you want to be a talkative character, they added a lot of content for when you roll 9 charisma in Terron. Now I have most of the achievements in the game, and I do know how to get all the others. I do not have the achievements for dying 20 times in a single playthrough, nor the achievement, no, it's 20 different deaths I think, nor the achievement for dying 100 times. But other than that, I do know all the others, and we're going to do a completely different run, a hybrid run, to show you as much content as possible, with a new character, with a new game, with a new style, and we shall be called, and this will be spoilerific for everyone who played this game already, Almalexia. She knows and sees. Now, there are some strange glitches with the new engine. Could be my graphics card. Don't worry about it too much, though. It doesn't look like that in game. It's just right now. We will be a mercenary, and I will be discussing in great detail what other options give you as we progress through. The first playthrough I did, the first video I did was when I was just new to the game. Now I know everything about it. No, that's cocky and nonsense. I do not know everything about it. I do know quite a bit, actually, however. And I will try to bestow as much knowledge upon you as possible. Now, Almalexia did have a lot of tattoos or runes inscribed on her body. So this is perfect. Not sure why it's in face, but we will make do. She had red hair, and she did have a golden circlet. Well, in some versions, actually. That's as close to Almalexia as you can get. We are going to make a character who will achieve the planned goal is to achieve the best possible ending, which is reserved for talkative, intelligent, perceptive characters, and we will also wage battle against any odds met from the very beginning till the very end, which is normally only available to characters who are combat focused. There are quite a few tips and tricks that I will fail to deliver on, but we should pull through regardless. So, I've thought long and hard about which route exactly to take. When it comes to stats, strength is, despite what the developers keep saying on the forums, the least important statistic in the game. We can drop it to a 6, not to have penalties. And yes, you will deal less damage. Yes, you will have trouble penetrating super heavy armor, but not necessarily so. Because you will eventually break it. Strength is for the fight. Strength is important for characters that go for trades. For characters that go for a fight where he hits you hard, but you hit him harder. He fucking dies. You don't. You need strength and constitution for that. We will have neither. I think I will leave it 6 con. Maybe 5 strength even. So how do we do this? Because I will be a melee character. I will not be a ranged character. These are completely overpowered, completely broken. You can just blitz through the entire game like that. I will be a melee character. A tricky to start with melee character, but incredibly powerful as it develops. I will not have almost any points in defensive stats, which is either block or dodge. We will have neither. I might put some throwaway points into dodge at some point, but other than that, no. And we'll just focus on offense, while not having a lot of strength or constitution. It will be fine. Another statistic that I want to talk about early is charisma. Charisma is a dumb stat. Unless you are a talker, which is when you want to have 7 charisma. You want to have either 7 charisma, which unlocks free training in many places. I will discuss it as we go through the game. You may want to have 9 charisma, which unlocks a very special path starting in Terron. I will talk about it as well once we get there. Or you want to have 4. There is nothing else in between. Since the training you receive isn't that great, it does in one moment. The training you receive does in one moment reduce the difficulty of a test of another attribute by 1. So putting 3 points into charisma for some extra points of training is not worth it, and putting 5 points to bring it to 9, because the lowest is 4. 5 points to bring it to 9 is just not something I would do on this character at all, because that unlocks. I recommend it for talkers, because sometimes checks are, the difficulty of a check is for charisma and persuasion, for example, combined. So the DC is, for example, 15. If you have 9 charisma, 6 persuasion, you pass. If you only had 7 charisma, you need 8 persuasion. I will put 3 points into intelligence, 2 points into perception. Looking good, but I am considering dropping the constitution by 1 point. I will drop constitution by 1 point. And I will increase dexterity by 1 point. We don't have hit points. Well, constitution is not only hit points. There are quite a few extremely important checks for constitution, which actually also decide the very last check in the game, which we will need for the best ending. We will need 7. I have 5. And there is only 1 attribute increase in the entire game. Bear with me, it's fine. Constitution not only gives you hit points, not only does those checks, but Constitution is also determines how often. It's not broken down over here, but it also determines how likely it is that if you are critically hit by someone, to suffer a loss of attributes. For example, if someone stabs me in the leg extremely hard, I will lose a point of dexterity. If losing dexterity drops my action points, it generally sucks. Having low constitution for a fighter is fucking terrible. Whatever, it's fine. We have 6 strength, 9 dexterity, 5 constitution, 8 perception, 8 intelligence, 4 charisma. You might argue that getting strength is that dropping the points in strength in favor of constitution would be a better idea. I disagree. On this point, I think you cannot see the messages that are appearing on the bottom right. That's why I'm using OBS, because whenever I record, someone's fucking just stop messaging instantly. It won't matter for the build that we are going for, which is spears. Spears are extremely tricky to start with, but they are, trust me when I say that they are extremely powerful when you use them right. It will take some reloads early on, because if we miss a few times in the few initial fights on attacks that we must hit, we're dead. We lose, simply put. If you went for block and axe, which is probably the best build for a strength constitution character, or swords for a dexterity character, or a dagger for a dex perception with dodge, of course, then it's not necessarily the case. But our build is extremely fragile early on, so we might do some reloading. The game is, unfortunately, as admitted by... I forgot the developer's name. Them people, as admitted by them, it takes some reloads in fights that, even if you are prepared for a fight. Sometimes, of course, not always. It can be that we blitz through all the fights, and I hope it will be the case. We'll see. So we spend all of our combat points on Spear, so that we have higher hit chance. This is you basically, the hit chance is, oh, it's actually shown down below. I'm not sure, this way. The attack formula is our hit chance minus their defense plus 50%. So if I was attacking myself, I would have a 95% chance to hit, because that's the highest you can get. And if someone was attacking me with this, the difference is 60 points between my attack and dodge. So if I was attacking someone with 12 dodge, I always hit. There are of course more powerful attacks, aimed attacks, etc., which have lower chances to hit, but we will get to that later. I will put a point into alchemy, which is useful for the difficult stat that we are doing. We are a mercenary, there will be fighting in the prologue. A point in alchemy allows me to brew potions and poisons during the prologue. Otherwise, you have a very limited space in the prologue, in the first mission. There is access to alchemical ingredients. We are going to abuse that, if need be. Maybe it won't be necessary. I'll put 2 points into Streetwise for metagaming reasons. I'll put 2 points into Sneak for metagaming reasons. And I'll put 1 point into Lockpick for now. There is a lot of metagaming involved to get a lot out of this game. It's a game of limited resources, even though it doesn't seem as such. It doesn't have an obvious counter like moves left in the 1 minute one level roguelike or whatever it was called. But it does use a similar mechanic. I will not read the intros here because they are the same as before, up until here. You make a living providing protection services to the inn's patrons, because we wouldn't want anything to happen to them, would we? When you were too young to know any better, you spent your days drinking and fighting. Now you do know better, but you still do that. You are paid to break hands when the locals are getting too drunk and out of control, and the drinks are on the house. What more would you want from life? Almalexia. The inn is full of guests. After spending weeks and sometimes months on the road, they have an unhealthy appetite for cheap wine, stove-cooked meals, and women to share their beds for a few coins. Press tab when we start. It's always necessary. And approach the alchemist. We cannot leave. Approach the alchemist, and after a brief talk with him, which is just an introduction to alchemy, I will not spend time on that, we bought a bunch of ingredients for a cheap price of 50 gold pieces. It's a rip-off, but it allows me to, using the second bar, the second tab in inventory, to craft alchemical concoctions. A vial of poison in this case, I will craft 3 of them, and healing salves, I will craft 3 of them as well. These are important for healing in the first fight, which we will have no break in between. Let's approach the innkeeper, since he called for us. Easy on the wine, Almalexia. You're working tonight, remember? Don't worry about it. I'm not going to do... It's impossible, I'm sorry, female voices. As you talk, a tired man in dusty, weathered clothes enters the inn and looks around. Several caravan crewmen carry his chests and bags inside. The man carefully inspects his belongings, and after a brief conversation pays the crewman. Hail to you, Master Gracious! It's been a while. How may we serve you? The innkeeper's attention is on Gracious, which doesn't prevent him from gesturing to his servants to pour Gracious some wine. 3 fingers indicate the quality of the wine. Roast a fresh bird over the coals and move the chests to the storage. A room for me and storage for my goods. Find me a good lawmaster and send one of your guards to make sure that I am not disturbed, says Gracious gracefully. We had Gracious in the previous one as well. This is the limitation of the game. This is the limitation imposed upon the player in each playthrough. Everything happens at the same time. If you choose a different branching path, you just keep moving forward. There is an X amount of events in an Y amount of time span, and you can only experience everything once or not at all. There is no grinding. There is no possibility for grinding. There used to be before, supposedly. Did you hear that, Almalexia? How a guest requires the pleasure of your company, so go clean yourself and do something useful for a change. I will go get better gear at the Merchants Guild. You have access to an alchemist over here in the Merchants Guild, which I found out much later, actually. His prices are pretty steep. All prices are pretty steep because our trading is shit. And a merchant over here. I will not do merchant's voices because he's just a throwaway character. Anyhow, I am able to sell just the buckler. I don't need to sell anything else to the merchant. And I will get the crockspar. Is it? No, I want a dory. See, the differences between weapons is the crockspar has more damage, but it costs 1 more action point per attack at 6. Fast attack is -1 action point cost, so at 5. But special attacks are costing 6, the basic ones. Meaning I cannot do 2 special attacks in a round. Lastly, I will take a dory, which allows me to do a special attack and a powerful attack. Powerful attacks are +1 cost. At the perfect 11 AP, or a special attack and a fast attack and move a square, which is 2 action points. Lastly, Dory is simply superior to Crossbar despite loss of the damage, which is actually noticeable even more because our strength is low. Don't worry, I got this. Now I will do something completely silly, and rather than equip the weapon, and equipping and de-equipping stuff costs 2 action points in combat, I will equip a net. Because I'm a metagaming son of a bitch, actually I will first poison my spear, and then I will equip a net. Bear with me, friends. It's tough to start this one. You should head to the inn. I will, right away, yes. The trader looks at you critically, frowning at the dents in your armor. Keep unwanted visitors out of my room, he says before turning away. You will not be disturbed, master. Perception success. If you have 7 or above perception, you will notice this. If you have less, you will not. You are awakened in the middle of the night by a soft click coming from the lock. The door opens and a shadowy figure slips inside the room. Determined to earn your pay, you put on a show, lunging at the intruder and making enough noise to wake up the trader. When you're satisfied with your efforts, you throw the unfortunate thief out of the room and turn to the trader. Who was that? Asks the trader, looking visibly shaken. An assassin, master, 3 streetwise. He almost had me, but I couldn't give up, knowing that your life was in peril. It wasn't an assassin, it was just a thief, wanting to steal the chest's contents. If I didn't have enough perception, he would steal the contents from the chest and rob the trader. If I didn't have enough streetwise, I couldn't lie that it was an assassin. If neither one of those two happens, I wouldn't have him say, I owe you my life. If you're ever in Madoran, talk to Kemnebi and tell him I sent you. He is careful and doesn't hire anyone without a recommendation from someone he trusts. He'll take care of you, Almalexia. Thank you, master. This actually helps us a lot for when we get to Madoran. Thank you, master. And now an assassin slips through the window and kills him. Gracious, says the assassin calmly. The Commercium wishes to remind you that you are still not welcome in this town. He just keeps shooting him like when he's talking, since the body is already down. You can let the assassin go. He will say that the contract was only for the merchant, etc. No, that's not how we roll. I was fucking hired to protect this man, and even though he's dead now, I cannot have it blame me. Nor can I let you live, because it's this time of the month. I will wait once, just to show you that you can. I was paid to kill one. And now I will attack. He will shoot me. No, I am actually faster. If you have 8 dexterity, he will be first. If you have 9 dexterity, you will be first. So what I'm going to do is move 2 squares. Each square is 2 points of movement, and diagonal square is of course 4, rather than 3. And I guess it works, it works. I'll move 2 squares forward. I will cast the web on the assassin, entangling him. And I have just enough points to re-equip the dory. I actually have 1 point over, but if I had 1 less dexterity, the assassin would shoot me first. Now there is a possibility that he will hit me on his turn with the crossbow. For 10 points of damage, that's actually a lot. If I stood over here, the assassin would drop the crossbow, take out his dagger or sword, I don't remember which, and attack me. A two-handed spear cannot attack adjacent squares, except for the diagonal ones. So if he approached me, I cannot attack him, and moving away from him, if I move just 1 square to the now left, now down, I would be in a tricky situation where every turn I would have to spend points backing away and trying to deal damage. I put a point in alchemy just for that reason, to just negate the damage he deals to me. So what I'm going to do is use a special attacks on his legs. There is a bunch of special attacks. Fast regular power, these are just, you trade accuracy for damage. Aimed at the head, you can lower their perception, knock them down. Extremely important, extremely powerful, really useful strike. Arterial isn't super useful for us. It can cause bleeding on a critical strike. We don't have any critical strike chance though. Yes. Torso, I never use that one, ever. You can lower their damage reduction more while attacking the torso on a critical effect. Legs reduce their dodge and has a chance of reducing dexterity. Arms have a chance to reduce their accuracy and chance to reduce strength. Impaling is unique to spears, but I do not want to lose my weapon, so I'm not going to do that. And whirlwind is all squares around you. This is the only this is the only adjacent attack that you have, except for push, the last one. You try to push them away, a square. If you fail, you were better off moving away. So I'm going to use a legs attack with 88% chance to hit. Our attack is 81%, which is, you can see in the upper right corner, skill value of 50, stat modifier of 15, perception of 10, and weapon modifier of 6. The dory we are using has a passive 6% to hit chance bonus. Against the assassin's 43% dodge rate, plus the 20% for him being netted. If I lose, it's going to be shit. Okay. He loses 15 points of dodge. After that, I can actually try to strike him in the head. 88% chance because he lost 15 points of dodge. Took 10 points of damage, lost 9 accuracy, and is actually going towards me. That I didn't expect, he should have been shooting. Maybe it's because I dealt so much damage that the AI decided to move forward. So as you see, when I move away from his threatened squares, for regular one-handed weapons, most of the time it's just the squares and a cross. The ones, not diagonals. I can attack him from a diagonal. For some one-handed weapons, you can still attack in diagonals. What are we going to do with this drunken fellow? An attack for 5 is actually pretty useful. I will attack your arms, 85% chance, dropping his accuracy by 15 points. He's badly wounded, there is poison flowing through his veins. And I'll move away 2 squares. Away 2 squares, which puts him out of my weapon range, but has a possibility of me demonstrating, 42% chance, of me demonstrating why this spear choice is very, very strong. It didn't work. You have a chance to knock them back as they approach you with spears. Two-handed spears, you can knock them back from further away. I'll strike you in the legs. He's almost dead, so I could just try finishing him off rather than moving back 2 squares, but I really want to demonstrate the pushback. There we go. Whenever he approaches, there is always a chance determined by your spear skill over here. A base of, goddammit, 38%, added to the passive weapon bonus, which is 4% in our case. There is a better spear, two-handed spear, which we'll be using, that has 12% base chance. And whenever that procs, you just push them back whenever they go into your threatened squares. For one-handed spears, it's just a circle around you. For two-handed spears, it's the next square around the, outside of the circle around you. Let's demonstrate some pushing. 82%. He's pushed back. And let's finish him off. Bloody. If for no other reason, participating in this fight is worth it because you get a point of combat skill points. Another reason is, of course, the loot that you get. I will not take the arrows, the projectiles, because you cannot sell 2 projectiles. You can only sell projectiles in bunches of 10. It's just wasteful to have it in your inventory. It's cloggy. I don't want that. If we didn't spot the thief, the trader would have nothing on him. So none of these items would be here, except for his clothing, of course. If we didn't spot the thief, we wouldn't get the iron and the gladius either. I'll equip the hood. We lost 15 points of health total, which means a single healing salve is more than enough. A quick save. 14 points of poison. Should be enough. So far, so good. Let's leave the room. There is nothing left to do but wait for the innkeeper to sort this mess out. Continue. Another perception check, this time an 8. You notice that the trader is clutching some parchment in his hand, as if he had hoped that it would shield him from harm. It looks like an old map. Might fetch you a couple of imperials. When you take it, you notice a small grey sphere laying on the floor nearby. You pick it up and put it in your pouch. It's an unusual metal sphere with several grooves running around it. Perhaps a lore master might be of service. If I had less than 8 perception, I would just get the map. The sphere is quite important. You can get the sphere in a multitude of ways. For all of them, almost all of them, you need either high perception or high lore. To use the sphere in the end, you need both high perception and high lore. So keep that in mind. If you want to get the sphere, you might as well have the perception, because you will need it to use the sphere later. Metagamey as fuck, I know, but this game, unfortunately, does require that for the most part. You can enjoy it, otherwise, yes. But you will end up dead in a ditch. Wait for the innkeeper. Fuck, says the innkeeper, before giving us another job. Escorting a merchant to the Thieves Guild. The 40 Thieves Guild, as a matter of fact, which is a large and seemingly indefatigable network of thieves, smugglers, and other criminally inclined citizens. The guild operates in every town and traces its origin to the early days of the Empire. It is said that in the past, the 40 kingpins of the 40 largest towns used to coordinate the network. Opinion is divided as the relations and ties of the 40 thieves of yore and its current incarnation, but the name persists. In Teron, the guildmaster operates out of a local tavern, a popular destination for people who feel at home in shady parts of town and dark alleys. The tavern is full of people laughing, arguing, and screwing around. At the back of the tavern, piles of loot sit atop tables, waiting to be counted and divided. At the far end of the room, Kado conducts his business while keeping an eye on the guests. Ah, Vardanis, my friend, how are you? Who's your friend? Don't tell me that you feel You have to bring some muscle with you. I'm hurt. Kind of checks the goods, pays without haggling, and just like that, the deal is done. Let's head back, says Vardanes, looking relieved. The thugs come out of nowhere. You follow Vardanes, who grows more confident with each step, talking business and making big plans. When two men step out of the shadows, they look at Vardanes and smile as if he were their long-lost kin. "Spare a coin," one tag asks, pulling out a knife and smirking at his joke. We pull ours as well. Don't be so eager to die for nothing, friend. You see, Vard and I go way back. We have a lot of catching up to do, don't we? So here, he throws you a gold coin. Take the rest of the night off. Had you not thrown the gold coin, you would live. Two thieves. Tough fight. Especially for our combat style, which takes a while to take off the ground. We'll start with a leg attack. 65% only. It succeeded. Another leg attack. Dodge. Shit. Now it's the thief's turn. He goes towards me. My chance to dodge is shit now. The other thief will very swiftly kill Vardanes, as Vardanes feebly attempts to do anything. Leg attack. Oh, we had 82% on that. I'm wounded. A fast attack. If I had more strength... Oh, he actually didn't even get attacked by Vardanes. And Vardanes is completely worthless. He's just slaughtered there. He got hit for 11, he retaliated for 1, and then missed twice. No matter. Aiming at the arms. 7 points of damage. Go over here. Vardanes will buy me some time. Never mind. Executed. With impunity. 71%. Do I push or do I get hit? Let's try to push. Go for the legs. Shit. Go back. 42%. It will start proccing eventually. Eventually. He's almost dead. He will die to the poison soon enough. Good. It hit. I cannot afford to strike him again. Wow! The percentages are fucking me up. Okay, this one did strike twice. Good. Will a push work? A push and a shove. 4 points. He should be dead any moment now. God damn it! One more. Thankfully, even the single push is enough to disallow him from attacking me this turn. I keep dealing 0 damage, which is unfortunate, but as I said, the build takes a while to take off the ground. Let's try pushing him. It was enough. Let's fast strike him. Maybe it wasn't necessary, but I do wish to remain safe rather than sorry. This is excellent. He didn't even get to me. Legs. Fast. One step back. 42% chance. Shit. He strikes me twice, but we have some armor. We don't have any dodge, but we have some armor. So he's badly wounded. I can try to whirlwind here. Whirlwind. Which misses. But allows us to take a step back. This allows him from attacking. He's almost dead, so are we. Push. Fast. 2 steps down. 42% chance? Shit. I dodged though. Which is very low percent chance. Easy. 12 gold coins on him, some armor, some weapons. If I didn't heal the 15 missing hit points for not having alchemy, we wouldn't live. Furthermore, the poison helped a lot. These are like the extra assurances, the extra edge we needed to win this fight. Vardanes has the 250 gold pieces and the iron dagger, extremely useful. This tag has a bunch of gold pieces as well. And we get an extra point of combat to spend. I could actually heal up to full. But it's not necessary, but Almalexia would in this situation heal up to full. Even though it's wasteful, I would. She would. So we go back to Kado's tavern. The night is still young. Go back to the tavern and have a drink with Kado. You go back. The apes posted outside get out of your way and let you in. As if on cue, conversations and drunken laughter stop and dead silence fills the tavern. You make your way to the bar and pour yourself some wine.
Almalexia, is it? I didn't expect to see you again tonight. To be honest, I didn't expect to see you again at all. Yet here you are.
I'm looking for a job. It occurred to me that you have 2 job openings.
Looks like it, since you're here. What I want to know is why you're here, Almalexia.
Why would I? Not wounded, you motherfucker! I just healed to full! Huh?
Mercenary with a bag full of money risk her life to seek employment in a guild such as ours.
Discrepancies. You need better men, I need better masters.
I do need better men, that's for sure. Very well. Give me the money you took from Vardanes. Because you replaced the 2 men who were told to cut his lying throat from one ear to the other and retrieve the money. And since you're new to the guild, let me explain how things work. The guild looks after you, protects you, enables you and many others to make a fucking living. This costs money.
I will just give him the money at this point. Shit. I regret choosing the voice for him. Ooh. Kado checks the money, nods, and gives you your share. He then wants us to make a deal with the guards at the gate. Try to make them look the other way. And just like that, we are into the Thieves Guild.
Where is Vardanes? Where is the money?
Dead, as is often the case when one's chasing easy money.
Folk,
says the innkeeper again. Mirroring his earlier sentiment, nice. Oh well, at least we tried, eh? God damn it, why did I go? Oh well. Yeah, we tried. Got any jobs for me? Seeing that the last 2 men you're supposed to protect ended up dead? No, not really. The Imperial Guards are recruiting though. Might be just the place for you. He never has any job for you. If you secure Vardanes, it is possible to win the fight without Vardanes dying. You can then kill Vardanes yourself. He never has any job for you. Don't worry about it. I'm working for Kado now. Might be a conflict of interests. Do you know a good lawmaster? Talk to Thing. I will. Remember, here is where the lawmaster starts. A slight difference. Now, the reason why I did that, why I joined the Thieves Guild, is that normally to join the Thieves Guild you either need to be starting as a thief, which is one of the best starts you can have actually. I would recommend Thief or Lore Master for very easy starts. Mercenary has the most bodies to start with and the most money, technically, by a bit. But not if you join the Thieves Guild. Other than starting as a thief, there is just one other way than what we did right now, and that's to have at least 3 points in Steel. Fuck that shit. Steel is useful in Steel is never the only answer in steal skill is never the single best solution. Steal is actually never the best solution. There is some merit when you start as a thief. You want to have 3 points in skill and eventually raise that to 4. No spoilers there, but you do want to do that because you will get a return on the investment. It's all about that. You have a limited amount of SPs that you get throughout the game, which is modified by the bonus you get from intelligence. A 4 point into steal super early on as a thief, 3 to start the prologue, 4th as quickly as possible, will get you a refund. Complete refund, maybe even something on top of that. So keep that in mind. Other than that, yeah, we have ourselves into the Thieves Guild with no steal points, just a bit of sneak, which I'm going to use immediately over here. By looking through this window. Actually, not yet. No. What I'm going to do is put a point into lockpicking. Metagamey as fuck, I know, but the limited resources that you have. Climb the vines. I think you need 8 dexterity or 9 to do that. Lockpick Fen's little abode from above. You need 3 points of lockpicking to do that. Go inside. These doors are locked, and they will remain locked until Fen is for as long as Fen is in the city. Since I will never get Fen out of the city, due to the decisions we will make, I have to sneak in. Why do I sneak in? I sneak in to investigate the documents, which increase my lore by 1 and give me 5 points of skill. And I will also try investigating the boxes, but since I have only 3 points in sneak and our armor has a penalty to sneaking, 1 point, it's not at all a big deal. I'll investigate the boxes, I will be caught by Fen, but the character will still walk into the boxes and investigate them. I could remove the armor, but I can just explain to you instead how it works. Fen will tell me to fuck off and not steal from him. But I was quick enough to investigate the boxes and get an extra point of lockpicking. Booyah! Now with 4 points of lockpicking is one of the skills we will be investing through. We will get through the window into the blacksmith's little abode. I think you need 8 dexterity, might be just 7. Then you need 3 sneak. And then investigate the workbench for a point of crafting and 5 points of skill of social. The way this works is they give you 10 points to that skill. If it's not enough to raise it, for example, if they tried to raise my lockpicking and I have 4 already, they would just give me 10 skill points. If I had 1 lockpick, which only costs 5 to increase, they would give me 1 point and 5 skill points to spend. 2 and 3 increases them by 1. These are the cheap, free, easy points. There are many more cheap, free, easy points to a character with 7 charisma, but other than that, we are not such. And with 4 lockpicking, we can just open that chest. We can now leave this humble abode of the blacksmitheroo. The chest had just this axe inside. It's not overly useful. Let's talk to Feng, shall we?
What do you want?
The intro is the same as with the Lore Master. Can you appraise something for me?
A wise choice. Many people sell very valuable items without realizing their true value. This, I can't believe it. It can't be. This, my friend, is an extremely valuable artifact. I will be honored to research it for you, but it will cost you 50 Imperials.
Streetwise check here. If you do not have 3 streetwise over here, you will be scammed. If you will be scammed here, there is no way to later be unscammed. The entire conversation with Feng will completely change. Right here, right now. If you don't have 3 streetwise. Or if you aren't a lore master, but then he wouldn't try to scam you. Easy there, Feng. Let's leave this valuable artifact shit for the farmers. Discuss a reasonable price.
Alright.
Wouldn't pay 10 coins for it, but he knows someone who will give you at least 100. Sure, here is 20 gold coins. Talk to Antidus. We did have this conversation as a lore master, so I'll just skip through it. I'll go pay Lord Antidus a visit then. If it goes without saying... It goes without saying that if he doesn't pay me, I'll pay you. Wait. You look like a capable woman. There is a small matter. And he wants us to kill Cassius. Now, killing Cassius is a peculiar choice. I do believe that there is a possibility that if I didn't have sneak or lockpick, siding with Cassius is the correct thing to do, to access Feng's backyard. Cassius is also the correct thing to do if you get a lot of points into House Daratan's reputation, because then Cassius will teach you something. I will not get that, unfortunately. Neither will I get any teaching from Feng because I do not have 7 charisma. Unfortunate, yes. So, we know the drill. Lure him to the abandoned house. Strike him. Since I don't have any points in critical strike, it will not work. This is the only fight where it actually still damages him, though. So I'll strike you in the legs. He dodged. Fuck. Well, there is no way he can win this fight, though. But at 87% I would assume. No, whatever. I guess I'll let him damage me a bit. Almost dead. Dead. Another reason why it's better to side with Feng in this case, even though we kind of don't get anything from either one of them, is because it gives us 1 point of word of honor. More on that in a bit. Cassius is no longer a problem. Since we have a point of alchemy, in alchemy we can deduct that the ring he's proposing us is just a fake, rather than ask him about the powers, and we can be counted in on the scam. Asking where he's from and why did he come here fails because we have 4 charisma. Succeeding on that gives you a total of 15 skill points, distributed amongst trade, lore, and something else. Now, since we joined Kado's guild, there is a little bit we can do over here. As you walk down the street with your Nikes on, you see a young woman running from a drunken mercenary. "Please, you must help me," cries the girl, grabbing your arm pleadingly. The mercenary takes another step towards her and the girl darts behind you, as if to shield herself from him. "The bitch owes me money. 8 Imperials, who's gonna pay me? You?" Streetwise success. You can also have a steal success in this case. Both at 3. You have a feeling something's wrong. Suddenly you become aware that the situation isn't what it seems. The mercenary anger seems fake and the girl is sobbing and clinging to you in an almost theatrical manner. You also become aware that her hands are too close to your money. I can try to grab her, which is a dexterity check. I think a 7 is enough. Then try to kill them, her, him, and like 2 other dudes. It's a pretty tough fight. Gives you a skill point in fighting. I can get away, try to grab her and let her go. Gives us 2 or 3 skill points for resolving the situation. I can be oblivious to her trying to scam me. I will lose about 50 gold coins, I think. Or if you are a thief, does Kado know you're running cons in his town? Who's Kado? Kado is a man you do not want to fuck with. Pay him a visit, apologize for your mistake, offer him a tribute, and work out a deal. Or end up dead fast. Your choice. Thanks. I'm Livia. See you around, Livia. Livia is useful because if you resolve it this way, Livia will provide you with some skills. I suppose I should thank you. This tavern is in a girl's dream come true, but it's better than working the streets. What can I do for you, sugar? You almost got me when I first saw you. How did you do it? You can say that I give people what they want to see. I give them a chance to act their fantasies, to save a girl from a tag, a grill. You catch attention of a rich lady or just to be what they've always wanted to be. Give them what they want and they will give you what you want. It's just as easy. Impersonate by 1 point, persuasion by 1 point and 5 skill points. Not extremely useful the first two, just enough to get us through the next Thieves quest. If you have enough charisma, go to Feng first, get his training. She doesn't give you persuasion either, she just gives you 2 points to impersonate. There are many combinations you can try to do that. Experiment on your own. Didn't work on me though. Tells you something about you, doesn't it? That I'm not a lesbian, yes. With our newly found skill points, what can we do? How much gold do I have? 480. There are still a few things we can do, or we should do. Just the perfect order is required. Teron is tough. Teron is very tough. And here I need 9 charisma. I know. We need to go not to the boatman, but rather behind the boatman, and in the cemetery, with our high perception, we will be able to find a climbing hook. Climbing hook reduces the requirement for strength that you have when climbing. Our 6 strength would not be enough to climb almost anything. That's why a climbing hook is extremely useful. With a climbing hook and a dexterity and this combination of skills that we have, it will be very easy. Next we go to the gate, since that's where our quest will take us. You have to pay a levy to enter, explains the guard patiently looking at one of the women with interest. We don't have the money. Our village was attacked, the raiders took everything. These are hard times, but we aren't running a charity here. If you want the protection of House Daratan, you have to pay. If you can't pay, please show us mercy. We have nowhere else to go. Mercy? Do you have any idea how much it... What's going on? I interrupted them. Refugees. Fucking freeloaders. I think we did that as the lawmaster. I will pay their entrance levy. I cannot haggle it down because my training is non-existent. So I'll have to pay 150 rather than 100. A Molas will swear that he will repay me. If you have trading of 3, you can haggle it down to 100. If you are a praetor, you can just force them in for free. It's important that you do not ask a Molas for 1,500 gold pieces, because then he will tell you to fuck yourself. You'll have to kill him. He doesn't have the gold. So, guards. You strike up a conversation with the Daratan guards watching the gate. There isn't a lot of traffic these days, so the guards are bored and take full advantage of the opportunity to talk your ear off. You fake genuine interest and skillfully encourage the guards to impress you with their vast knowledge of current affairs, learning that the guards' pay has been cut again, that Flavius, the watch commander, has lost more than he can afford in a game of chance, and that the Imperial Guards are pretentious bastards who think that they are above the law just because they have some kind of fancy mandate. They cut your pay? Necessary measures, they say. Necessary measures, my ass. They take because they can. You can believe that the guards who risk their lives to protect us are underpaid. That's the real crime. Yeah. Persuasion streetwise. I just have enough. Thanks to Livia's training. I just have enough. It's a super easy check. The 2 points we get are more than enough. You know what? I have a shipment leaving Teron in a few days. Instead of paying tax to the commercium, I'll pay it directly to you. I think it's only fair. 10 imperials each? The guards look at one another. 50 coins each. If I had 3 trading, I can get it to 25 each. But it's not required at all. So we bribe the guards to look the other way as the shipment comes. Haggling it down to 50 is not necessary at all. Kado's busy talking to a nervous, balding man in merchant robes. Just sign this document outlining what we've discussed, Zenon, says Kado, playing the role of a kind uncle. You seem like an honest sort, but it's natural to have doubts and second thoughts, and this document will help you avoid certain temptation. The man glances around helplessly, but signs it in the end. They always do. Try not to do that when you play a merchant. Don't sign that document. See, things are in motion. This is Merchant's second quest that just occurred, that just transpired. That's why when you join a guild, there are a few methods of leaving it, switching sides, etc., but most of the time you lose out on stuff. The merchants think they have a problem. A hole in their ship, so to speak. Anyway, how did it go? I have bribed the guards, they will let our shipment through. Simple but effective, yes. He gives us back the 100 gold pieces, gives us 18 points. I'll put a point into sneak. I have to think about that one. I need more bodies, I need more blood and more gore. Not all, just gore. Let's talk to Almolas. Amolis. That guy. He's very thankful his village has been raided, and just as we are about to leave... Wait, Almalexia. Since you have 1 point of word of honor, I need to talk to you about something. When our settlement was attacked, the writing was already on the wall. We had less than 20 men left, most of them wounded from the previous attacks. It was a bad year for us, so we grabbed what we could and ran. I'm not proud of it, but dying with the rest of them wouldn't have made any difference. My family comes first, principles second. I had money, a lot of money. If you can get it for me, a third is yours. Do you think it's still there? Stash is well hidden, which is why I couldn't get it in time. You need to know where to look. Give me your word and I will let you. Trust a stranger? Yes, he would, because they say you keep your word. How much is in there? 12,000 Imperials. Keep 400. Bring the rest to me. We have a deal. 8 intelligence allows us to see. The wasteland has been kind to you, Molas. High streetwise would also allow us to see that. What are you saying? I'm saying there is more to the story than what you've told me. Just a random douchebag wouldn't make 1,200 coins. Did I say that? I'm sorry, I have 4 charisma. I told you all you need to know. Are you in? I'm in! He marks the settlement of an extremely difficult fight, or a check that requires 11 total in either sneak and critical strike, at least 5 in sneak, or streetwise impersonate, I think. We'll have neither. You can also fight them, but there is about 11 dudes with iron or steel gear, which will fucking rape you at this stage of the game. You can also come back for it later, but there is a lot of money involved. Anyhow, pondering as to what to do next. I think we can already. So 2 points in crafting. 1 point over here. 3 points over here. Is it proper? Yes, okay. 4 points in crafting allows me to craft things out of iron. It also allows me to put two improvements up on my gear. So I'll just decompose the broken down shit. I'll leave myself 1 dagger. Actually, I will not leave myself 1 dagger. I will get 1 dagger from the tavern in just a moment. Break down all of it. It's worthless to sell it. It gives us nothing. This would sell for a single gold piece. Money will not be a problem this playthrough, trust me. It can be a problem Super Leon, other than that it's not. We have 6.1 pounds of iron. Alright, I need to talk to you, friend. I need your schematics. I need a spear schematic for 50 and a light metal schematic for 75. I can now craft a Rorak rather than a Dory. Rorak doesn't have as much to hit chance. You can see 6% to hit chance with the Dory, 4% extra for the passive pushback, whereas Rorak just has a 12% passive pushback. The damage is the same, the hardness is the same. The difference between steel and iron, iron and bronze is 1 point of damage and 10 points of hardness. The pattern continues for the next bits as well. Now the techniques we unlocked are plus 8% bonus, masterwork for the passive. So we jump from 4% extra chance to push them back to 20. It will bring us to about 60%. Still low. Don't worry. We just have to be luckier than they. And I'll put a point into 2-hit chance, which just gives us back the chance that we lost. We gain damage, we gain passive bonus, we gain hardness. Hardness determines the chance you have at damaging opponent's armor when it reduces your damage. So now we have a decent weapon, and I do want, if I can make one, yes we can. I do want better armor as well, so I will take Lorica Hamata, bronze one, with extra points with reduced penalties, I guess, and with extra protection against criticals, 45. You could say that I should use the Phrygian armor instead, because it has lower armor penalty. Armor penalty basically reduces your dodge or block by that amount. I don't have any fucking dodge. Bro. The DR is pretty good, and the critical strike is basically our critical strike chance versus their minus critical strike chance, plus something, I don't remember exactly. We have a much better weapon now. Is there something else I have to pay for? I don't think so. Let's go to the palace. Let's make a sharp right turn. Now that we have 4 points into sneak and we have a climbing hook. Let's knock on these doors. And let's wait until it's dark. It's a noble lady. We can try to scam her with words, or we can just, using the climbing hook and our strength and dexterity, sneak into her house. You need 4 stealth. There are 3 loot spots in her house. The table. You need 4 lockpick for these doors. The wardrobe just has a dress. And jewels. And now we leave. You can just run around. She doesn't notice you. 2 skill points. For an investment that was useful in other places as well. And, more importantly, a bunch of silver and gold ware. I don't need this actually. I will never need this. And the dress is useful if you have some impersonate, but we don't. 6 sapphires. And actually that's it. She had 6 sapphires and that bit. So we can sell everything that we want to use. We want to use these plants ever. I might use these. Actually no, I want to use them, but I might brew them and do something better. Now, I'm selling him a bunch of stuff just to get his 3 whetstones. 62 gold each. It's a steal. He has a bunch of iron weapons and stuff as well. I don't care about it at all. We can use the whetstone on our spear to increase the damage it deals by 2 for 20 strikes. Damage is determined by your crafting skill. 1 point of extra damage per 2 points of crafting skill. Duration of attacks is determined by the material used. Iron is the second one, does 12. This poison is kind of shit, but I'll still use it. There is a bunch of fights I want to take. There is a bunch of gold I want to make. But first, we'll sneak into the Daratan camp mound. As inconspicuously as possible. But first I will stop the recording for just a moment to ensure that everything is proper.